The Steffi Graf Stadium had seen legends battle on its grass for decades. But on this June afternoon, it witnessed something that left 25,000 fans gasping. Alex Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina who had already conquered Birmingham, walked onto center court as a wild card entry. Across the net stood Donna Vekic, the 29-year-old Croatian who had just completed one of the most improbable fairy tales in tennis history, rising from lucky loser to WTA 500 champion in the span of a single tournament. Their history was personal. Their stakes were sky high. And what unfolded on the grass of Berlin was not just a tennis match. It was an explosion of grit, redemption, and raw emotion that left the tennis world absolutely speechless. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. Steffi Graf Stadium, center court. The stage was set for the third act of a rivalry that had already delivered two unforgettable chapters. When Alexander Eala stepped onto the pristine grass of the Steffi Graf Stadium, she carried more than her racket. She carried the weight of a nation, the momentum of a grass court title, and a perfect record against the woman standing across the net. Standing in her way was Donna Vekic of Croatia, a streaking champion who had just authored one of the most improbable fairy tales of the grass season. The 29-year-old had entered the Queen's Club Championships as a lucky loser, failing to qualify for the main draw, only to slip in when Marta Kostuk withdrew with an injury. She had turned that second chance into a tournament victory, defeating Britain's Emma Raducanu 6-0, 7-6-6 in the final. It was her first WTA 500 title, and she was just the seventh lucky loser in the Open era to win a tournament. Vekic had surged from number 76 to number 33 in the rankings. She was streaking. She was confident. She believed she could extend her winning streak. But the history between them told a different story. Eala owned a two-head edge over the Croatian. Their first meeting had been a gritty three-set battle at the ASB Classic in Auckland, where Eala rallied from a set down to win 4,664-64. The second was an exhibition at the Kooyong Classic, where she swept Vekic 63-64. 2 matches, 2 victories. But those were hard courts, Eala's territory. This was grass. And grass, as Eala had just proven at Birmingham, was becoming her territory, too. The 21-year-old Filipina had arrived in Berlin as a wild card entry after being promoted from the qualifying rounds. She was coming off the biggest grass court triumph of her career, the Birmingham Open title, where she battled back from a set down to defeat Nikola Bartenkova 5-7, 6-3, 7-5. The victory had pushed her to a career-high ranking of number 33. She had broken the Czech curse. She was playing the best tennis of her life. But the night before, chaos had struck. A fire alarm at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel had forced Eala, Coco Gauff, and Eva Lise out of their beds at 3 a.m. sleep-deprived and disoriented. Eala had been scheduled to play the first match of the day. The disruption could not have come at a worse time. Eala had faced worse odds before. She had faced fines, fees, and a WTA that had once told her she wasn't fit to play. She signed a waiver and won anyway. Now she faced a streaking champion who had beaten everyone in her path. The crowd expected a war. The media expected a story. The tennis world expected fireworks. What they got was something else entirely. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. Steffi Graf Stadium, center court. The story of Donna Vekic's 2026 grass season reads like a Hollywood script. She arrived at the Queen's Club Championships in London as a woman with something to prove. After failing to qualify for the main draw, she was out. Her tournament was over before it began. Then a late withdrawal by Marta Kostuk opened a door. Vekic slipped into the draw as a lucky loser, the 7th in the Open era to win a title. She seized the opportunity like a woman possessed. Match after match, she defied the odds. In the final, she stood across the net from Emma Raducanu, the home favorite, the former US Open champion, the player carrying the hopes of a nation. The British crowd roared. The pressure was immense. Vekic responded by demolishing Raducanu 6 in the first set, then held her nerve in a 10-second set tie-break to claim the title. It was her first trophy in 3 years, her 5th career WTA title, and it had come from the impossible position of a lucky loser. "I doubted myself last year and in the first months of this season," Vekic confessed after her victory, her voice thick with emotion. "Honestly, I doubted it last year, but this proves I can still win titles." The victory had been a massive confidence boost. She had surged from number 76 to number 37 in the rankings. She had won 6 consecutive matches on grass. She was streaking. She was confident. She was the queen of the grass. And standing across the net from her in Berlin was the only player who had consistently troubled her. The history between them told a story that Vekic desperately wanted to rewrite. Eala owned a 2-0 head-to-head edge, a gritty 3-set battle at the ASB Classic in Auckland, 4-6-6-4-6-4, and a dominant exhibition victory at the Kooyong Classic 36-64. But those matches were on hard courts. This was grass, and Vekic was a different player now. She had arrived in Berlin believing she could win. She had every reason to believe she could extend her winning streak. The crowd expected a battle. The media expected a war. The tennis world expected the streaking champion to finally solve the puzzle that had eluded her. But when the first ball was struck, the script was flipped. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. Steffi Graf Stadium, center court. The first serve was a warning shot. Eala's lefty delivery screamed down the tee, painting the line before Donna Vekic could even react. The radar gun flashed 113 miles per hour. The steely Croatian who had just conquered Queen's Club as a lucky loser could only watch as the ball skidded past her. The message was unmistakable. The girl who had been rattled by Eva Joik at Queen's Club was gone. In her place stood a warrior with something to prove. From the very first game, Eala dictated play. Her lefty angles, the same weapon that had frustrated opponents throughout her grass court campaign, neutralized Vekic's power. The Croatians' ferocious ground strokes, which had overwhelmed Emma Raducanu in the Queen's Club final, were consistently redirected, pushed wide, forced into errors. Eala's movement on grass was fluid, almost effortless. She read Vekic's shots before they left the racket, gliding into position, cutting off angles, robbing the veteran of time and space. The Philippine flags in the stands waved furiously. The chants of Leon echoed across the historic Steffi Graf Stadium. The first set was over in just 29 minutes, 62. Vekic tried to adjust in the second set. She varied her pace. She attacked the net. She attempted to disrupt Eala's rhythm. Nothing worked. The Filipina was locked in. Her focus absolute. Her execution flawless. She raced to a 4-0 lead before Vekic finally held serve. A brief res pit in an otherwise one-sided affair, but the streaking champion refused to fade. At 52, Vekic dug deep. The Croatian, a veteran of 15 years on tour, found something she had been missing all match. Belief. She broke Eala's serve for the first time, then held to cut the lead to 53. The stadium, which had been roaring for Eala, suddenly fell quiet. Was the comeback on? Eala walked to the baseline. Her expression was unchanged. She bounced the ball 3 times. Her eyes locked on the service box. The serve was untouchable. 112 miles per hour painting the corner. Vekic's racket never touched the ball. Match point. Eala's next serve was a statement. A lefty slice. That pulled Vekic wide. The Croatian scrambled, but her return floated long. The final score, 62-63. Eala had extended her mastery over Vekic to 300. She had advanced to the round of 16, where world number 2 Elena Rybakina awaited. She had served notice to the entire Berlin Open draw. She was not here to participate. She was here to conquer. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. Waldorf Astoria Hotel. 3:00 a.m. The shrill scream of the fire alarm cut through the darkness like a knife. Alex Eala's eyes snapped open, disoriented, sleep-deprived. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. The hotel room in Berlin, the unfamiliar ceiling, the flashing red light. Then the reality hit. She had to get out. She grabbed her phone, her room key, and stumbled into the hallway. Other guests were already streaming toward the emergency exits, some in robes, others in pajamas, all of them confused and groggy. Among them were familiar faces: Coco Gauff, her close friend and rival, and Eva Lies, the rising German star. They stood outside in the cold Berlin night, the Waldorf Astoria towering above them as firefighters cleared the building. It was 3:00 a.m. Eala was scheduled to play the first match of the day at 11 a.m. 8 hours no sleep and the biggest match of her grass season ahead. Gauff, ever the competitor, tried to lighten the mood. "Well, at least we're not the only ones," she joked, gesturing at the crowd of sleepy guests. But Aya couldn't laugh. Her mind was already racing. Not about the fire, but about the match. About Donna Vekic, the streaking champion who had just won Queen's Club and was waiting for her on center court. By 4:30 a.m., the all-clear was given. The fire had been a false alarm, a malfunctioning sensor, nothing more. But the damage was done. Aya had lost precious hours of sleep. Her body was tired. Her mind was foggy. And she had a war to fight in just a few hours. Back in her room, she lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Sleep wouldn't come. The adrenaline from the alarm had faded, but the anxiety remained. She reached for her phone and scrolled through messages. A text from her mother. "I heard about the fire. Are you okay?" She typed back, "I'm fine, just tired. I'll be ready." But would she be? The question lingered as the first light of dawn crept through the curtains. Eala had faced worse odds before. Fines, fees, and a WTA that had once told her she wasn't fit to play. She had signed a waiver and won Birmingham anyway. She had beaten Vekic twice before. She knew she could do it again. But the fire alarm had shaken something inside her. Not fear, not doubt, something else. A reminder that in tennis, as in life, you can't control everything. You can only control how you respond. And when she walked onto center court at 11 a.m., she responded like a champion. Berlin, Germany, June 17, 2026. Steffi Graf Stadium. The aftermath. The final point had been played. The scoreboard read 62-63. Alex Eala had extended her mastery over Donna Vekic to 3-0, advancing to the round of 16, where world number 2 Elena Rybakina awaited. But the victory was about more than advancing. It was about redemption. Just days earlier, the tennis world had been whispering. After the Queen's Club loss to Eva Jovic, a 626-2 defeat that snapped her 6-match winning streak, the critics had emerged. "She's burning out. She can't sustain this level." Maybe the WTA was right about the fitness concerns. Eala had heard them all. She had not responded with words. She had responded with her racket. In the stands, the Philippine flags waved furiously. The chants of Loban echoed across the historic Steffi Graf Stadium. And in living rooms across the Philippines, millions of fans breathed a collective sigh of relief. "That's our champion," one fan posted from Manila. "She didn't let one loss define her. She came back stronger. That's Loban. That's Alex." The victory was more than a statistical masterpiece. It was a psychological breakthrough. Eala had proven that she could lose badly, and return to the court without fear. She had shown that one bad match did not define her season. She had demonstrated the resilience that had carried her from the cracked courts of Quezon City to the grass of Berlin. After the match, Aya was asked about the Queen's Club loss and how she had turned it around. "I didn't play my best tennis at Queen's Club. Iva was too good that day, but I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. One match doesn't change that." Now, an even greater challenge awaited. Standing between her and the quarterfinals was world number 2 Ella Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion who had defeated her in Rome just weeks ago, 64-63. The rematch was set. The tennis world was watching. And Alex Eala had just proven that she belonged on this stage. Laban always. And the next match is already waiting. Bombshell. Alex Eala versus Donna Vekic explodes into Berlin Open's most shocking showdown. The Filipina star extended her mastery over the streaking Croatian champion to 300 with a dominant 62-63 victory at the Steffi Graf Stadium. Just hours before the match, Aya was forced out of her hotel at 3 a.m. by a fire alarm along with Coco Gauff and Eva Liss. Sleep-deprived and disoriented, she walked onto center court and delivered one of the most composed performances of her career. The victory sets up a blockbuster second-round showdown with world number 2 Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion who defeated her in Rome just weeks ago 64-63. The tennis world is buzzing. Filipino fans are celebrating, and Alex Eala has sent a message to the entire Berlin Open draw. She is not here to participate. She is here to conquer. At Court Legacy, we bring you the latest in women's tennis. From thrilling match highlights to the moments that define careers. Subscribe now for daily WTA news and stories that go beyond the scoreline. Drop a comment. Can Alex upset world number 2 Elena Rybakina in the second round?